Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Secretary General will say a few words and we'll have time for a couple of questions.
Good afternoon. I have just chaired a meeting of the North Atlantic Council. We addressed current tensions in the Middle East and implications for NATO's training mission in Iraq. NATO and all NATO allies take part in the global coalition to defeat ISIS, and NATO's mission in Iraq is an important contribution to the coalition's effort. At the invitation of the Iraqi government, we are helping to train forces in Iraq and prevent the return of ISIS. At our meeting today, allies expressed their strong support for the fight against ISIS and for the NATO mission in Iraq. In everything that we do, the safety of our personnel is paramount. As such, we have, for the time being, suspended our training on the ground. And we are taking all precautions necessary to protect our people. We are keeping the situation under close review, and we remain in close contact with the Iraqi authorities. NATO is prepared to continue our training and capacity building when the situation permits. We remain strongly committed to the fight against international terrorism. At our meeting today, the United States also briefed on the regional situation following recent attacks on coalition forces in Iraq and the strike against General Soleimani. For years, all allies have expressed concern about Iran's destabilizing activities in the wider Middle East region. We agree Iran must never acquire a nuclear weapon. We share concern about Iran's missile tests, and we are united in condemning Iran's support for a variety of different terrorist groups. We have recently seen an escalation by Iran, including the strike on a Saudi energy facility and the shoot-down of an American drone. At our meeting today, allies called for restraint and de-escalation. A new conflict would be in no one's interest. So Iran must refrain from further violence and provocations. With that, I'm ready to take your questions.
Yes, please.
Not me, but I'll take it. Choose TV2.
No, sorry, okay, Terry.
Well, thank you. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Piers. Mr. Secretary General, were any of the allies specifically mentioning that they would like restraint on the part of the United States as well? And when the Iraqi parliament says that it is going to kick out all foreign forces, if that should come to pass, does that mean, do you believe that the 500 or so NATO personnel would be leaving, or would you ask for a special dispensation to stay in Iraq? Thank you.
At the meeting today, allies expressed very strong support for the NATO training mission in Iraq, because the training mission in Iraq is an important part of the efforts of the global coalition to defeat Daesh and to make sure that Daesh or ISIS is not able to return. And one of the best weapons we have in the fight against international terrorism is to train local forces, build local capacity, and that's exactly what the coalition is doing and what NATO is doing through our training mission in Iraq. We are there by invitation from the Iraqi authorities. We will, of course, relate to, so we have suspended our training mission now because of the security situation on the ground, but we are ready to restart the training when the situation on the ground makes that possible. We are in close contact with the Iraqi authorities, with the Iraqi government. I visited Iraq some weeks ago, or last fall, and then the Iraqi authorities and the Iraqi Prime Minister stressed the importance of NATO support. NATO support, coalition support to the Iraqi security forces is important for Iraq, but it is also important for us, because when we train them, help them in fighting ISIS, international terrorism, we're also making our own countries more safe and secure. I will not speculate more than we will continue to work closely to have close dialogue with the Iraqi government, and I strongly believe that the NATO training mission is good for both Iraq and for NATO allies, and we are there by invitation of the Iraqi government. Then what was also clearly expressed at the meeting today was a call for restraint and de-escalation. And all allies have several times expressed their concerns about Iran's destabilizing activities in the region, including Iran's support for different terrorist groups. And of course, all allies agree that Iran should never be able to develop nuclear weapons. And we have also expressed again and again